performance ratio is still good if you are not able to monitor what is the weather data. So if you don't have the input data, you're only monitoring what the plant is generating, and that is not giving an indication as to how good the plant is performing. So with that, I will ask Mr. Gurpreet Singh to provide his views on remote monitoring specifically because they are from Webdyn, and if he can also provide outside his presentation certain views from, practical views from the clients, their challenges, their mentality and how they want to adopt especially the portfolio management part of it. Mr. Singh.
Yeah, thank you, Maheshwari sir. As you rightly mentioned, like for the plants over 100 kilowatt, it generally makes sense for the people as of the current scenario. They think about if it is 100 kilowatt above, we can imagine the cost of the remote monitoring into the plants. But for the smaller plants ranging from a few kilowatts to 50 kilowatts or let's say 70 or 80 kilowatts, the costing result seems to be viable, and you have to come up with a very low cost solution, or otherwise plants are performing well. We'll consider it for the bigger plants. And you correctly mentioned that even for the small plants you need to monitor at the minimum level the meters, but again the meters are not telling you a complete story about your plant's performance. So I'll put on this subject in a manner. Let's say if you are thought of I'll be taking a 5 kilowatt plant, then for what purpose you are not going to build it for a day or for 2 or maximum for a year. You are going to let it perform for 20-25 years. So you have invested something, let's say a minimum of 3 lakh rupees, 4 lakh rupees for a minimum small kilowatt plant. But then the major challenge that comes up after a couple of years is like my plant is not performing well and it's underperforming. What should I do? I'm doing regular cleanings, I'm doing regular preventive checkups, which I have put it up into my list. But still it's not performing because most of us are here and we are not doing we are not going to the clinics for our regular health checkups. We only go to the health checkups when we feel some, we are having some illness or we are feeling some issues. And we got to know, we are having this problem straight away, and we have to spend so much amount onto, the diagnosis or the surgeries and all these things. So why not you go for the regular checkups and to see the health, how my body is performing. Obviously, it will cost initially when you are going every 6 months or every quarter for your checkups. But again, you will be a bit relaxed. You will be putting the more efficiency on your as a personal satisfaction, on your professional life, on your personal life. Because you will feel a bit healthier and you will see, I'm not having any issues that must be developing inside my body I'm not aware of. So similar thing that happens onto the sites. You never know what's happening inside the inverters at a particular time. You never know what's happening with the production of your plant at a particular time. You never know, why my dips are coming up from these particular plants, which this remote monitoring solution, when you are actually, again the challenge is people used to say, we have utilized the remote monitoring, but to be telling you practically we don't have any person to still analyze these screens and to analyze our plants. We are having more than 100 plants added up with the monitoring, but still we are clueless because there is no dedicated team to monitor. Obviously, if you are not having a particular person at least to monitor or the O&M team to monitor, every expenses that you have done onto the monitoring are again going useless. So monitoring not only from the point of view of putting up a particular device or a solution or a big good solution, you need to have at least a dedicated team who is regularly monitoring your plant's performance, because again, the plants are your baby, which are gonna give your company's impression first of all, how professional you are, how you are maintaining your plants, because that generally pays up data as an employee to you. So this is where the remote monitoring, starting from whatever size of the plants are there, are very essential. The practical case, I'll share it with you. We started our operations here in India 2 years back. It's a French company basically. And when we started up, we met one of the company, I'll not name any company. It was somewhere in Gujarat. They said, we don't require monitoring because at that time, from now, the perspective has actually changed and the thinking has changed really on the remote monitoring aspects. That we are using the inverters from Germany, we are using the panels from Italy, we are using this from this. So on and all, I'm using the quality components. I'm sure that for 10 years, nothing going to happen on my plant. So why should I put up this thing onto this? After a year, I got the call from that same company. I said, I'll meet you up the next year. They said, the devices are good, there is no breakdown. But the thing is that my plant's generation has gone down. and I'm doing the regular cleanings onto this, but still I'm not able to match up my performance guarantee which I have given. So what can I do? I said the only answer is remote monitoring, because you should have the information. You can put up a person onto the site, but what that person can do, he can clean, he can see, okay, everything is physically okay, but he cannot move inside the inverters, he cannot move inside the panels. You have to have that machine communications from the machine talking to you. So this is where you require actually the data. This is the power of the data. And now when you are having the data, how you are going to analyze whether this data is saying my plant is good or bad, or it's moderate, or it's a kind of alert for me. So for this there are some calculations or analytics that again are being provided from the remote monitoring perspective. Sharing you one of the cases, like we have provided the solution for 5 kilowatt as well, and we have provided solution for 5 megawatt or 10 megawatt sites as well. For the microgrids, these are very, very small rating plants, like from 1 kilowatt to maximum 10 kilowatts in very rural and village areas, where obviously the costing in most of the cases are being done from the CSR initiatives of certain banks or the corporates, and the NGOs are generally taking up these projects. When you are putting up a microgrid project, you have to hire a local person who will be at least taking care physically of everything is working or not, because to reach there is again a big challenge, because these microgrids are used to be very, very remote areas where you don't have direct trains, direct flights, and the approach by road is very difficult. So suppose, imagine if you have not used monitoring onto those places, and for any case, because those guys again from the village areas, and they are not technically, they are not very skillful, they can only tell you the plant, the energy is being generated or not. So they will call you, say the energy is not generating, now what you will do, you have to run over there. You will be spending 2 or 3 days to reach there and to come back, and all the expenses and all. So this is where in half of the cost you can put up a remote monitoring, and you can have much better information about your plant. How my battery is performing, how my inverters are performing, what is the generation, why is it not even generating, the reasons, the alerts. So this is for the smallest scenario. Similarly for the on-grid solutions you require, because whenever we are talking about the costings, we always forget, okay, even for a single case, because we have to provide some sort of services to the clients, to whomsoever we are handing over the plants, or let's say we are having the guarantees for a year or 5 years of maintenance. Then if we are going to send up a person blindly without knowing the issue, but there is an issue, he has to go there just to first out diagnose the issue, then he'll say, okay, this is the case, I'll come up again. He has to come up again with some solutions. So where this costing is going to incur, it will be added onto your project costings. So if you are having a very dedicated remote monitoring solution for your plant, you can have actually all the information from your plants. Okay, look, this is what you said. This seems to be the issue from this side. So if you can please check this out, and if you check it out, you get to know. So you have the recorded data, you have the recorded information, you have the recorded parameters to justify that my plant is still performing well at your site. Or even if it is not working, then you can be having a clear idea. Okay, look, this is the problem. My person will go and will rectify this issue. So you are very clear at this point when you are actually putting up the remote monitoring aspect. Similar cases have happened onto the bigger site, bigger portfolio sites, where you are having multi-brand of the inverters. For example, suppose you have added up a site in a phases. You have a 5 megawatt plant, but you have added up in phases of 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt, and 2 megawatt. In 1 megawatt, you have used X inverter or some X meters. In Y phase, you have come up with some other Y inverters, Y meters. In C phase, you have come up with any other brand. Now the big challenge is, look, I have different makes, I have different brands, I have different mappings from these, I have different protocols for the communications from them, but still how I can merge all this together as a single site. Is there any solution? So this is again the solution that from Webdyn comes up, to merge all these different makes and brands together and still to give you a feel of a single site, where you can have your inverter to inverter comparisons, your meter to inverter comparisons, parameter to parameter comparisons, like this inverter having same orientation, having the same number of modules connected as a string is performing very well, but the same inverter of the similar capacity having similar loading is performing close to 60% of what it is performing. What could be the reason? That your remote monitoring, comparisons, and all this analysis gives you the idea onto this. So there are several cases, but within these 2 years, we have seen that the awareness about this has really increased. Be it from SECI, SECI has made it at least mandatory to put the remote monitoring at least for any site above 10 kilowatt. This is the reason why the government has come up with this sort of a point as well to put up the monitoring. And not only government, but yes, since it's our assets, we are putting out the money, and we want to, we want to see our money growing, and we want to see our projects performing very well for the 25 years, as it's adding up to our prestige, company's prestige basically. So this is where on and all, I'm not related to the particular site size, that this site size doesn't require and this size requires. Every site requires the monitoring, even if we are putting a single rupee onto the site's part. So I think this is how I can conclude onto this remote monitoring aspect.
Thank you, Mr. Gurpreet Singh. See, two important points that I got from what you said is, it's not only installing of a remote monitoring system. What is furthermore critical is the data analytics. And normally you would see that once installed, let's not forget that there is a huge amount of data which is coming out of this. Now this itself can create so many jobs in the solar sector. Like what you see, let's say in e-commerce, where data is so important that it can even, as you're browsing, it can even give you what are the recommendations for you based on your previous browsing history. So the same way, the amount of data what is being generated from all these solar power plants would create a lot of jobs, as well as would have a lot of importance in data analytics part, because that is where you would see how to do other corrective actions to change, if at all some requires in your system at a particular time. So data analysis is very important. And the second aspect, what he touched very importantly, was on the portfolio management. Like one client who has installed, one big client, take an example of a large conglomerate who has installed at 15 different of their factories, but they ended up giving this to 5 different contractors, let's say. Now, all these 5 different contractors might have used different inverters, might have used different panels, might have different ways of monitoring the strings, and may have different combiner boxes or meters. So all of this, how do they manage in a single screen when they log in that plant 1, 2, 3, 4, how are they performing relative to each other, how are they performing on their own, and then that kind of thing is very important as the portfolios for various clients will grow. And it is what, in my view, we've seen is it becomes very important that this is more simplistic, rather than logging it on your laptop and then see how the plant performs. If there are apps through which you can do it on your phone, or if you get an SMS or alert as and when if there is something wrong, or if at a promoter level, let's say he just get plant 1 to 5, these are the generation numbers, and if he sees that there is anything wrong, because see, person who has invested money would be more concerned on the plant performance compared to a project manager who is just running the plant for that purpose. This is their job, but the amount of concern for somebody's money who is invested would be more if there is a little disturbance or reduction in the plant performance. So more simplistic way of monitoring the plant, which is more user friendly. It's already there, but it needs to be come at a very simple level where people can then just say it's so easy that I just click a button and then I see all my data. So I think we would come to that stage. I think now I request Mr. Gupta to provide his opening remarks related to the preventive maintenance. Over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, friends. I am K.K. Gupta, coming from Intertech, looking after the technical aspect. Preventive maintenance, we have a lot of preventive maintenance in all kinds of power systems. And one maintenance or one aspect of it is grounding, and I will be touching only on that. We can carry out preventive maintenance only when we have installed the accurate and correct grounding or earthing. Let me tell you one thing. Earthing in India, not only India, all over the world, is highly ignorant and misunderstood. There are a lot of myths. I will tell you 2 or 3 here, for lack of time. What do we understand with the earthing? That we have installed one electrode and it is done. And now we have a lot of maintenance-free earthing available in the market, or chemical earthing. It is all myth. There is no chemical earthing in the world. The word chemical itself is a fluke. Earthing is an entirely different subject. We have been using it wrongly in India. So there is no chemical earthing. In any of the standards you can pick up, any standard. Whether it is IEEE, IE3043, BS7430, or IEC 103648. And two more, I don't remember the numbers. Third thing, we have installed the electrode, earthing electrode, and we get it tested. That is also not done properly. Since we are talking about the roof of solar system, our system is always prone to the lightning strike. Always, it is open to sky. Anytime where there is rain, it can have a lightning. And we are putting the whole building, not only the system, the whole building at the risk of the lightning strike. So we have to carry out very, very, methodically earthing. We have to see that our earthing is properly and adequate. Having earthing and having adequate and performing earthing is two different things apart. And what do we have today is only earthing. Nobody knows whether it is really performing. In solar system we have been discussing inverter. It is electronic. You get it? It runs, I think, on 5 volts or maybe less. It generates a lot of harmonics and noises. If those noises and harmonics are not dissipated or not taken to the ground, your inverter will have a problem. And we keep changing the inverter without even knowing why it is happening. If we have any inverter manufacturer here, I think he will go with me. Failure of inverter generally is happening because of the failure of earthing. And it is not only in solar system. Gentlemen, we have been using power for the last 200 years or maybe more. But earthing in India is highly misunderstood even in the power sector, say thermal station or even in hydro station, even in the substation, all electricity board we have been visiting. It is not properly taken care of. I will request you people, please, before you install or you take up any installation of any solar system, do the proper earthing. Now, as I said, what do? We install electrode and say it is done. No. Earthing will perform as per the soil resistivity of its installation. I repeat, any earth electrode will perform as per the soil resistivity values of its installation, location of its installation. Somebody comes and tells you my electrode will give less than 1 ohm. Total nonsense. It is not possible. Maybe in some location it will give you less than 1 ohm. But other location it will not give even less than 5 ohm. So, resistivity testing, first and primary aspect of designing any earthing system. If we have adequate and performing earthing, we are putting our system at ease. Our system will be at ease. Any fault current or any other types of fault are generated and dissipated immediately to the ground, your system is safe. And probably we are doing half of the preventive maintenance by having an adequate earthing. Second thing, we have a lot of misconceptions. Since we have given the thing on a contract, contractor is saying, okay, I will install one electrode for X number of rupees. But somehow he has not been able to achieve the required resistance. What he will do? He will do all kind of gimmicks to show you the digital meter, okay, indicating less than 1 ohm. Having less than 1 ohm and having less than 2 ohm, these are 5 times, cost variation. If I say I am having an electrode or earthing system less than 2 ohm, and I am having an earthing system of less than 1 ohm, cost variation between those two will be 5 times. If less than 2 ohm is costing me 20 rupees, less than 1 ohm will cost me 100 rupees. This we have to understand properly. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. I think very important point which we kind of ignore most in our at least in rooftop system, in large utility systems, EPCs are more trained, they have done a lot of installations, earthing grounding is paid a lot of attention. Plus, on a ground, it's much easier compared to a rooftop where people see, okay, I am doing a system through an aluminium rail. I am installing modules which are connected through a clamp on that metal sheet. That metal sheet is connected to the earth building, through the building earth when the client is constructed. Why do I do in separate earthing for the entire system? So it becomes very important that you segregate the solar system earthing both on DC side as well on AC side, because we have the system on both the sides and a separate earthing needs to be done. And very important aspects that it's very easy to trick you for showing in a meter that your earthing is done properly with less than 1 ohm kind of thing. They know how to play that trick much better compared to a client who may not be paying that attention. What kind of earthing wire, whether it's, they just say, okay, no earthing strip required, you may run a green color cable and that's sufficient. And many installations, if you see for this thing, and I have visited like many rooftop installation where at least there is no earthing, or they may use the same module cable itself to do earthing at one point and then connect it to the main building earthing kind of thing. So then you are technically interfering the building earth also with your solar system, which is not a good idea. So you better have a separate earthing, but that adds to the cost because you are running earthing strips from rooftop till the ground and all. So it is very important in a rooftop system, and as what he highlighted, most of your preventive maintenance would be good if you have done your earthing and grounding properly. So if earthing is done, then your chances of failure of inverter is less, chances of failure on your AC side and ACDB also is less. So very important point, and thanks for touching and bringing that point to the session here. Other point I think what we missed is also on the contractual obligations. Now, if you are doing an utility system for a 100 megawatt signing an O&M contract, compared to if you sign an O&M contract for a 50 to 100 kilowatt system, is very different, because the companies who are doing these kind of systems are smaller in nature. So you are largely doing, you would see that at least residential systems would be done by regional players, and the maintenance of them, that would also be done by regional players, because it's practically impossible that one player is doing across geography, across so many states. So in that case, how do you mitigate all your risk which you have been putting up in your O&M contract? So it's easy to mitigate when it's a large system, because you can ask for an PR guarantee and you can back it by a bank guarantee. But here, when these players are small, okay, so first is nobody will be giving you a bank guarantee for any risk mitigation what you may have, that okay, they may say my system would be available for 95% time. Then how does it matter for you if the system is available but it is not generating to what it should generate? So you ask them, okay, you guarantee an performance ratio that this would be the it is. So they have ways to do it, that how do you calculate the performance ratio and display it when you are doing a remote monitoring, and plus how do you back it up? I mean, what if you have signed an exhaustive, well-designed O&M agreement certified by a good legal entity, but if that firm doesn't exist after 5 years? You took in bank guarantee, what's the value of that bank guarantee, or what's the value of a performance ratio guarantee given by that player who is doing an EPC or an O&M contract with you when it doesn't even exist? So I think maybe I will ask Mr. Kapoor also to highlight, because when, as a developer, when you give EPC some contracts and then sign later on O&M contracts, where do you see the major risk, and how do you try to mitigate in those contracts? And if you want to touch on some more technical aspects of O&M as well, and put in your closing remarks.
Yes, the O&M contract, basically many times it happened when you are giving the EPC contract, there will be part of say 2 years free O&M from the EPC vendor. Sometimes it starts from year 1. So I'm just giving why when it is a free O&M, what we are facing the challenge. There are two companies in EPC. One is the contracting company. One is doing the EPC. One is doing the O&M. And generally, the EPC company is not giving sufficient fund for this free O&M period for 2 years, either for manpower, either for very small, because in first 2 years, generally you do not have any big issue for the spares. Due to that, many times we are facing the problem that even equipment are good, but due to very, very minor C-type issues, we are losing the generation. But it is within the contract. Say, like they are saying 98% of availability, it is coming within that. But we always focusing on the regular O&M meeting, monthly meeting, that no, even you can achieve this 99.9 without any big expenditure. It is only you have to do the smartly, or you have to do the small payments to your O&M team or sub O&M team. Similarly, what the issue is in O&M, basically, the cost of O&M in solar is going down and down. So generally people are thinking it is cleaning and the rest what the preventive maintenance on the electrical side, connection and earthing. So issue is that, like again, smaller than 1 megawatt project, it is very difficult to keep even one man 24/7 are deployed for that project, because your revenue may not be that much, and even if it is 100 kilowatt, forget, you can keep only on the demand basis. So their monitoring system is required. And I suggest if you are creating some portfolio, it is better you put some good web management system with putting proper sensors. It is an investment. I am not saying it is expenditure, because see, you have to do some investment, and if you are, as now installation will increase in India, it will go remote from Delhi and Bombay. So approaching to that place, maintaining that place, and the availability of skilled manpower at those remote places becoming more and more challenging. And as the manpower cost is going up, it is better you have to be equipped for the future. Like if you are putting a power plant for 25 years, if country's inflation is 5%, you will see the employer salaries will go more than 10 to 15%, and what today your financial model on total O&M, within 7 to 10 years you will have a problem. What is our understanding? I am just sharing. So if it is something today, semi-automation, and you should be equipped for the full automation, like cleaning or doing some O&M, sensors, it will always be better for everyone. And second thing, this preventive maintenance, what people are doing, because people are thinking this is the simplest technology.